Hello, hello. Good evening, ladies. Hi, Rana. Hi, Sanat. Hi, Karen. Welcome, ladies. My God, I can't believe we're almost at the end of our second week. Crazy, crazy how time flies. Hi, hello, 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 hello. Everybody in Cairo enjoying or about to enjoy your long weekend? We have a long weekend. So today's technically the last day of our week. Who's going to sleep in tomorrow? Definitely going to sleep in a bit tomorrow. All right. Today, Shahinaz is coming on. Let's give her a second. Hi, Shahinaz. Today,
Hi, Anna.
today we are not going to talk about food at all. Today we are I'm going to teach you something called the thought. So this isn't something that I made up. It's not, I didn't invent the thought model. It's something I learned when I learned about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I was working with a business coach, basically, and she brought in a mindset coach to give us some coaching on mindset strategies, because as it turns out, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do in life, change how you eat, work out, work on your business, work on your passion, work on your relationship. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The steps are significant, but before you get to the actual steps that you're taking, the thing that is going to make the biggest difference in getting you the results that you want is your mindset. Everything you do goes back to your mindset. Is it working for you or is it working against you? So often we think that what we think is just what we think. If a thought appears in our minds, if we catch a thought, I've been telling you I'm going to catch your thoughts, and every once in a while I'll catch somebody saying something. We just assume that just because it's in our head, then it's the truth. That if just we think something, here's the thing, we have like over 60,000 thoughts in our head every single day. We're not conscious of every single one. We don't catch every single one, but the ones that we do, we think are the truth. We think like, if I'm thinking it, then this is it. This is reality. But when you understand how the mind works, and when you understand that a thought is literally nothing but a collection of words that happen to be strung together in a certain way and happen to be passing through your mind, it completely changes how you create and how you design your life, because your thoughts create your feelings, they initiate feelings, and you take action in everything in your life based on your feelings, not on your thoughts. And this is key, and this is what I'm going to show you. So just keep that in mind. So what the thought model does is it helps us narrow down, because we don't have to be worried about every single thought that we think. We don't have to worry about changing every single thought that we think. But there are key thoughts in key areas of your life that you might be thinking, and they just might be on automatic in your life, and you've just been thinking them for so long, and that's just how you function based on these thoughts, but you're not getting the results that you want, or you want to change a certain part of your life, and you're not able to because you just have this certain way of thinking that you don't know that you can change. But here's why we know you can change it, and here's why we know your thoughts are not real. Everything that you think about the world or about people or everything around you is just your perception of it. It's not the truth. It's not the reality. It's why we can take 10 different people to watch the same exact movie, and all 10 are going to come out of the movie with a different perception of the movie. Some will think it's great. Some will think it's awful. Some will see an insight that nobody else has seen. Some are going to miss the insights completely. Does that mean it was a different movie for all 10 people? No, it was the exact same movie. It's your perception of the movie that is, it's what's the variable between all of us. And we think that with our thoughts, sometimes we believe that this is just the way it is because this is how I've thought my entire life. And this is what keeps you stuck. That, and not being able to identify the thoughts that are not serving you. So remember this, most importantly, that a thought is not set in stone, and a thought is not the truth. It's your perception of the truth. So because you can talk about a situation. I mean, just think of when women sit together and talk about something or gossip, right? Everybody has a different view on it. Those are all their different thoughts about the same thing. So when it comes to changing your health or changing your life in general, or improving your relationship, or improving your self at work, or just improving yourself, like elevating your level of consciousness and how you think and how you operate in the world, understanding how your thoughts come about and how they initiate feelings and how it is that you take action from that is key. Nothing changes without changing your thoughts. Nothing. So take out a pen and paper. This is going to become clearer as I walk you through it. Take out a pen and paper. And I want you to write thought model at the top of your paper and divide your paper in half down the middle. Okay. And then in each column, you're going to write the same words. At the top, you're going to write circumstance, and then circumstance again. And then you're going to write thought, and thought again. And then feeling, twice. And then the next one is action / inaction. And the last one is result. All right, so thought model, divide your page in two, right at the top, circumstance, thought, feeling, action, inaction, result. And in the first column, you're going to draw an arrow down the side with the arrow pointing down. And on the other one, you're going to draw an arrow going up. All right. So this is how you do a thought model. You have to identify something in your life, a person, a place, or a thing that is not working. And the circumstance, when you're doing this exercise, is the thing that is not changeable. We're going to change thoughts, we're going to change feelings, we're going to change the actions, we're going to change the results. But the circumstance, you can't change the circumstance. So if the issue in your life is a person, if it's a spouse, if it's your mom, if it's your sister, if it's your brother, if it's a friend, if it's your boss, you can't change the circumstance. When you think of an issue in your life that needs to be changed, maybe it's your job, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a situation like global events. You have to remember that this is a non-changeable part of the exercise. A circumstance doesn't change because you don't have the power to change it. It's not up to you to change how another person thinks. If you have someone, for example, and what you want to work on is your relationship, and you feel like the way to work on it is to get the other person to see your point of view. It doesn't work that way. You can't make other people change their minds. You can't change something, the way that something is set up. Nothing, no matter, because when we start to go through this together, you might try and do that. Remember that the circumstance is non-changeable. The thought in the first column with the arrow going down is going to be whatever it is you're thinking about that circumstance. Any thought that goes through your mind, and you can have 17 different thoughts going in your mind about this one circumstance or this one issue you want to deal with. You're just going to choose one thought, because when you're trying to get your mind on board that you want to change something, you can't confuse it. You can't confuse it and say, right, here's the circumstance that's happening, but I'm thinking, this thought, and I'm thinking this thought and this thought, and you want to write them all down. It doesn't work. You have to be specific. You choose one thought. After you write down your thought, you're going to think about what's the emotion that this thought elicits about the situation. You're going to jot that down. Again, one feeling. And then you're going to think, well, if I'm feeling this way, because this is how I'm thinking about the situation, what am I doing about it or not doing about it as a result of how I'm feeling, which is coming from what I'm thinking? And you're going to write down the result. So this is your going to be the current situation in your life that's not working. All right. Then we do the exercise again, and I'm going to walk you through every single step so you understand and it's clear. Then we're going to do it again, but we're going to work it backwards. So here you started with, remember, the circumstance doesn't change in either one, it stays the same. But this one, we think about the thought and the feeling and the action, and here's the result I'm currently getting. This one, you're going to think about the result you want that you're not currently getting. And you're going to plug that in first. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, if this is the result I want, what's the action I have to take to get this result? Write it down. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, if this is the behavior I need to have, if this is what I have to wake up every day and do, what kind of emotional state do I have to be in order that I can do this action that's going to get me that result? So you're going to identify the feeling. Once you identify the feeling, you're going to think, well, if I'm feeling excited or happy or motivated, what do I have to be thinking differently about the circumstance? This is where it's going to change. You have a current thought that's not working. So what do I have to think differently about the same circumstance that's going to give me this end result that I'm not currently getting? This is where you get to choose a thought that works for you. And this could take you several tries to figure out. And this is what we're going to do now. We're going to spend time practicing and doing some practice thought models. I'll do a very easy one with you to start, one that you can all relate to. All right. In circumstance, first line, let's say that the circumstance is the detox, the program. You can't change it. You're in it. It is what it is. At the beginning of the detox, what was a common thought that you all had? It's too hard. That's a thought. It's too hard. The thoughts are not complicated, by the way. It can be two words, 3 words. It's hard. I don't want to do this. How can I live like this? I don't want to live like this. Those are all thoughts. We don't think of them as significant, but they're thoughts. They determine how you're going to take action. So with the detox, first line, first column, many of you thought this is too hard. And you have to differentiate between a thought and a feeling, because a lot of you felt overwhelmed. So you wouldn't write, I'm overwhelmed in the thought field, right? Because that's a feeling. You would write, it's too hard. That's a thought. And the feeling you get from that is overwhelmed. So as you're doing this practice, you need to be able to differentiate between a thought and a feeling. So when you were all overwhelmed, what was the action that you took when you were in your overwhelm? Before I talked you out of your overwhelm. Very, very common is that if you're presented with a detox program and I'm asking you to cut all of your foods that you've eaten your entire life, some of them your most favorite foods, some of them your comfort foods that help you manage your life, and one of the thoughts you're thinking is it's too hard and you feel overwhelmed, what do you think you're going to do when you're overwhelmed? Are you going to go out and buy your groceries? Are you going to attend the Zoom sessions? Potentially not. Are you going to follow the program if you don't have anybody to guide you and walk you out of your overwhelm? The answer is no, you won't. There's no way anybody's going to attempt anything, not just a detox program, attempt anything when they're completely feeling overwhelmed. So the action here is you're not going to do it. Okay, Sana, yes, you quit. And then what's the result? Your health stays the same. You don't reverse your symptoms. You stay exactly where you are, right? So this potentially could have been you pre-program, right? Maybe you looked at my Facebook post and it was like, no, too much, too hard. You didn't sign up. You're scared to sign up. And so you stay where you are. Okay. Or you do sign up and then you still feel overwhelmed and you don't do the work, or you quit. Could still happen and your health stays the same. That's what's currently happening. So the thought, it's too hard, is determining the rest of the domino effect here. And all you did was think one little thought, it's too hard. And you probably weren't even aware that it's too hard led to the feeling of overwhelm. And who takes action when they're overwhelmed on anything? No one. You quit, you stop, you don't get the results you want. So now we're going to do it backwards. So the circumstance is still the same. You can't change it. It's still the detox, it's still the program. But the result that you want is you want to heal yourself, or you want to get rid of a specific symptom, or you want to get off your medication. Again, you need to be very specific. With all of these, it's one sentence, one emotion, one action, one result. You don't want to confuse your brain. You don't want to give it too many things that it doesn't know what it is that it needs from you to do. It needs just one specific instruction. So let's say it's to come off my thyroid medications. Very specific instruction, right? That's the result that you want. So we're going to go backwards. So if you want to come off your thyroid medication, what's the action you have to take? You have to follow the plan. You have to follow the eating plan. In order to follow the eating plan, what's the feeling you have to have? What's the feeling that has to precede you taking the action of following the plan? Let's say excited, right? And how do you get excited? How do you choose a different thought than it's too hard? What's another thought you get to plug in there that's going to make you feel excited instead of overwhelmed? It's very simple. This plan is going to change my health, or I can do that. Very simple. When you say I can do that, when you think I'm going to get off my medications, when you think this is the best thing that I've ever chosen to do for my life, that raises your energy, that raises your vibration to excited. And are you then going to take action from a place of excitement? 100%. You might not be taking perfect action all the time, right? We call it failing forward, but you're still moving forward. You're not stuck and you're not quitting. So this is how the thought model works. You choose a circumstance in your life, decide how it's currently working for you, and then see how you want it to work differently for you, and identify what are the thoughts, the feelings, the actions or inactions, and the result. And that's how it works. You have to change the thought. You can't, where people get stuck in their lives generally is we always think that the problem is outside of us. The solution is outside of us. That in order for anything to change in my life, specifically if it has to do with other human beings, they have to change. They need to change the way they treat me. They need to change the way they talk to me. They need to adjust their attitude. If it's a job, if it's your health, we outsource our health to doctors, and like the doctor's the one who's going to save me. He's going to give me what I need to do. So many things that we just work outside of us, not realizing that everything in your life happens because of what you decide to do. And if you weren't aware of that, now I'm making you aware of that. This can be a really scary thing, because it basically means that nobody can ever make you sad. Nobody can ever make you mad. Nobody can ever hurt you. You can never be upset at anything, in theory, because all of those are not truths. It's just how you react. This is your perception of your reality. So a lot of people don't want to do that, because it's just a lot easier to stay in a place where you don't take responsibility, you don't do the work, you don't do the mindset work, you don't know anything about a thought model, you don't do a thought model practice at least once a day. And it's so much easier just to say, well, you know what, it's their fault. They don't want to change. They don't want to help. They don't want to do anything. And you stay in sort of like a victim mode. This is another empowering tool, because when you know that every single reaction you have to any situation in your life is 100% controlled by you, this is the most empowering thing that you can do. I mean, this, beyond teaching you how to eat to heal, is probably one of the most important things you're going to learn in this program, if you use it, is how to control your mind. Nobody else can do this for you. Nobody else can come and convince you to do it. It's something you have to want to do. You have to want to take, the same way that you came in and you wanted to take responsibility of your health physically, this is how you're going to take responsibility of yourself mentally. And like anything else, it takes work and it takes effort, and it takes taking a step back and reevaluating everything you've ever thought about people, places, events, everything, in order to see, right, what do I actually believe about this when I take stock of my thoughts, when I take stock of my feelings? So let's practice some more because this takes practice to really get it. Who wants to volunteer? And we'll go through one of these together. And it can be, you want to change something about any area of your life. It doesn't have to be health, anything. Work, relationships, kids, spouse, the world, whatever you want. Anything we can do. Nobody wants to volunteer to do a thought model? Who can I choose who's done this before? Shahinez, go for it. Shahinez, and then we'll do Sanat. Go, Shahinez.
I was thinking today that I felt like I crave my old habits. I crave a pizza. Today I went out with my niece and she was eating pizza. I don't want to order pizza, but I craved pizza. Then I remembered that no, I'm on a detox for my health. I looked at the result. Thanks for today's session. For today's but somehow it came from a message from God. So somehow I told myself I was looking for the result. No, I will not order pizza. I will not take a piece from her. I ordered a salad, a sauté and salad. So somehow I started with I told myself, no, I will look at the results. I will not quit my results. I still crave I still crave pizza, my old habits, but I'm changing. Every time I do the detox with you, I'm still changing. I'm sticking to my old habits. So hopefully I'll continue, inshallah. Yeah. So I'm glad about today's meeting.
Okay.
As
well,
if you're
let me ask
specifically for me.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Do you want to change your old habits? Can you hear me, Shahinez? Do you want to change? You keep saying, these are my old habits. These are my old habits, right? So
yes, I want to.
Okay. So let's do one. Let's do a thought model with that.
I want to change.
Okay, so let's do that. So let's say that
Okay.
the circumstance is actually you, right? You. Because your habits, whatever, it's all you. So you are the circumstance in both instances. Okay. So in the first instance, what are you thinking about your old habits right now? Because you said it. You're like, these are my old habits. Like it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a correct thought? Like these are my old habits. It is what it is.
Yes, but there are unhealthy habits, so I have to change.
Okay, so is that what you want to say in the first column, or
yes,
what you
they
want
affected my health.
Okay.
They affected my health, so I think I have to change them.
Okay, so let's start first by identifying where you currently are, like when you were in the pizza place, right? You said, these are my habits, okay? So you are the circumstance, and what you're thinking about yourself essentially is, these are my habits. That's a very simple thought. Let's keep it very simple.
I didn't mean it this way. I mean, I got used to it.
Okay,
I don't usually order pizza.
Habits.
Okay.
Okay, you need to correct me as I'm going along, so I'm just sort of trying to think with you. So when you think of yourself and you think, I got used to my habits, is that a correct thought for this exercise?
Okay, let's go. Oh,
okay, I got used to my habits. So how does that make you feel?
I think it's not easy for me to change, but I'm working on it. So this is, I'm proud of myself.
So this is a thought. Remember, you want to differentiate between a thought and a feeling. But what you just said right now is a really good thought that we could put in place of, like we can say, I can't change. That can be the thought instead.
I can change, but it's hard for me to change.
It's
I
hard for me
can.
to change. We don't want to think about what you can do. Right now, we're thinking about where you currently at, okay?
Okay.
The thought is, it's difficult for me to change my habits.
Okay.
So you see, ladies, how it takes a little bit of tweaking to get to the actual thought. Like we had to have a little bit of back and forth. It wasn't the first thing she said or the second thing she said. You know, also because I'm not in her head, I need her to sort of figure it out with me. But it's difficult for me to change my habits is the perfect thought for this exercise. So that's what you would write in the thought. It's difficult for me to change my habits. This is a thought, not a feeling. Okay, Shahinaz, this is not a feeling. Okay.
Okay.
It's a thought going through your head. Doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's true, but it's what you're currently thinking. So when you think to yourself, it's difficult for me to change my habits, what feeling comes up for you? What feeling bubbles up for you when you think it's difficult for me to change my habits?
Maybe confused, maybe puzzled, maybe fighting some feelings inside.
Choose one. One feeling only.
Fighting.
Okay, so you feel, okay, so fighting is also not a feeling. So how can you translate fighting into a feeling? What feeling does that translate to?
Confused. Let's say confused.
Confused. Amazing.
Okay.
Perfect. So you're confused. So what kind of action does anybody take when they're coming from a place of confusion? Like if you're not clear, that's what confusion is. You're not clear on what you need to be doing. What do you end up doing?
I meant by confused is I know what I have to do, but I still slip sometimes.
Okay, so now you've identified another thought. I know what I have to do, but I slip. So that's a whole new, and here's the thing with the thought model. If you find yourself coming up with several very significant thoughts, they're all applicable here, right? You would do a separate thought model for each one.
Okay.
Okay, so you let me know. Do you want to switch it and put this thought in? I know what to do, but I slip. Do you want to put that in instead of it's difficult for me to change my habits?
I think they are close. Or what?
No, they're not close. They're very different.
No, I know what to do, but sometimes I make mistakes.
Okay, so that's different than it's difficult for me to change my habits. It's difficult means you're not even trying. I know what to do.
No, it's not difficult. I know what to do. I can do it, but I make mistakes.
Okay, so let's go with that one. I can do it, but I make mistakes.
Okay, this is
okay. So how does that make you feel?
Much stronger.
I can do it, but I make
happier. Makes me feel strong, capable.
Okay, so it makes you feel capable.
Happy.
Sorry?
Happy.
You choose one. You get
happy that I can.
You're chopping up for me. What did you finally decide? Capable? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Did you say
capable?
Capable. So
capable, yeah.
So that's a feeling. So you feel capable. Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens when you feel capable?
I take action.
Which is what?
I take control of my life. I eat my health. I make right choices.
Do you eat the pizza? Do you eat the pizza or not? So when you're out with your niece and you're feeling you don't eat the pizza. Okay. So basically, Shahina sort of did
Yeah.
both sides in her head this way, right? She kind of took the one that wasn't working and sort of put in the one that had the way she wants to make it work, all right? But you get the idea. And you can see how this is because it's your thoughts and because we have over 60,000 thoughts. And you can see how already she had 3 different thoughts about the same thing. Herself, about herself. She had 3 different thoughts about herself. And this is where we just get stuck because we'll pick and choose a couple of thoughts, stick with that and believe it and move with it and think that, well, if the thought is roaming in my head, if it's passing through my head, then it must be real. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome. Sanat, go ahead.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Yes, you mentioned about a global issue, so I thought I made it a bit difficult.
Oh, that's
So
fine.
I was thinking the circumstances, maybe the situation in Gaza, for example.
Let's do it.
So I thought my thought is it's unfair, as simple as this.
Perfect.
And then, of course, my feeling is frustrated.
Right.
But now when it comes to action, I feel like I'm helpless. I can't do anything.
Right.
So of course there is no change at the end. So the results are still the same.
The results for
Working
you,
it back,
right? The results
yeah,
for you,
yeah.
because you can't unfortunately change the circumstance.
Change anything. Yeah, of course, it gets me maybe more frustrated because I feel helpless.
Right.
But now doing it backwards, I couldn't do it because then what result? How can I feel better when things, it's not in my hand to change? That's where I struggled doing it backwards.
So what is the result that you want for yourself? You can't change the circumstance. So stop thinking that you can change it. None of us can change it. We can't. You can't change it. So what is this result you want for yourself? Like the first one you said, you feel you're so frustrated, you're not able to do anything. So in your mind, what is doing something look like?
Maybe become like help in some one way or another, maybe bring awareness, maybe I don't know, yeah, something specific.
Yeah, so think of, I mean, it could be something as simple as spreading awareness through social media.
Yeah, spreading awareness, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Or it could be something like donating money or donating time or volunteering. If wherever you live, there's all sorts of organizations, these things are popping up in different countries for people to volunteer their time to either put together aid boxes, or if some Palestinian refugees have made it out of Gaza, like here in Cairo, there are organizations that will go to the hospitals where the patients are and spend time with the patients and volunteer their time. So think about all of these things that you can do. Which is the one that's the result that you want for yourself?
Maybe at least to feel like at the end that I contributed positively in one way or another to the situation. Maybe that will make me feel like hopeful in one way or another.
Okay, so you've identified your feelings. So you can put hopeful in the second column. You can already put hopeful there. You've identified hopeful.
Exactly.
And by being hopeful, what action are you going to take?
Yeah, like contribute, like find, as you mentioned, maybe contribute one way or another.
Okay.
Just at least, yeah.
You're going to contribute one way or another. Yeah, it would be better for your brain if you were very specific, but just because
but then I have to find like the action. That's something I need to research first.
Yeah. So just because we have a time constraint right now, but I would go once we're done and think very specifically. So then what's the result that would give you once you decide, once you go and contribute, whether that's financially, with your time, spreading awareness, whatever it is that you decide, what result is that going to give you?
In terms of result, or you mean the thought? Because we're going backwards now.
Now remember, what was your result?
The result was like to feel like I've contributed, like a contribution, like
So you
sense of
want the
contribution.
feeling of contribution, and obviously it's going to come from the actual act of contribution.
Exactly.
And that comes from you feeling hopeful.
Hopeful.
Okay. So now, what is the thing you have to think about
That
what's
I
happening in Gaza?
I can help. Oh, I can help. I can do it. I can find a way to help these people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
You're not changing the circumstance. There's nothing that you can do to change the politics or, you know, the awfulness of everything. But instead of thinking it's hopeless, it's awful, it's a disaster, it's never going to end, where is this going, right? Which are thoughts, you know, all of us are having. They don't push us or motivate us to do anything constructive. But when you think, I can help or I can make a difference, okay? You said this automatically makes you feel hopeful. So already now you're starting to think of different ways that you can go and take action. And this is how you're going to feel like you've contributed instead of just watching passively.
Okay.
Does that
Makes
sound
sense.
right?
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome. Who wants to go next? Why is everybody saying, I want chocolate, I want muffins? What's going on? What's happening in the chat? Ladies,
It's when I said that I crave pizza.
okay, I got it. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, you have a few more days to go through this, but technically, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's day 7. Biochemically, those sugar addictions are either out or on their way out. We're going to get to this in 2 weeks. What you're craving now is not a hunger craving. It's not a physical craving. This is an emotional craving. We're going to get to that. Who wants to go next? Yes, we're all going through this, Shaheen. We are. Who wants to go next? Who wants to practice a thought model with me next? Does everybody understand it? Let me just make sure everybody understands it. Does everybody understand how to do the thought model and why not everything you think, most of what you think is not true, and you have the power to change it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. Abir, go ahead.
Yes, okay. So the circumstance that I am in now, that I have many things that should be done, and I'm not doing anything in.
Okay, so you are the circumstance, you. So you would write your name down, Abir. That's the circumstance,
Yes.
okay?
Ah.
And as far as I can tell, you've identified the thought, which is I'm not doing anything.
This is my thought. This
This
will
is your
be my
thought.
thought.
But let's
Ah.
make it more specific. You're not doing anything in which part of your life. So it might feel like you have a lot of things to do at home, at work, for your kids, for this program, and it might feel like you're not doing anything in any of them, right?
No. I'm not doing progress in the stuff that I let's say my hobbies, my hobbies.
Okay, choose one hobby. What's the hobby?
Okay, can we make them 2 hobbies?
You can do 2 separate thought models, right? For
Yes.
now, let's do one together, and then once we finish, you can go and do it for the second hobby on your own. Okay?
Okay.
So what's
So my hobby is the crochet.
okay?
The
So-
crochet.
So when you say I don't do anything,
Yes.
we're going to say I don't do anything to build my crochet hobby, right?
Yes, or I'm not doing anything to be more more talented, or to learn, to continue learning in this hobby. I want to be
Very good. Okay, very good. I'm not doing anything so you've already started learning, I'm assuming.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm not doing anything to continue learning my crochet.
Yes. or I still don't can't find the right way.
You can't find the right way
This may be to make myself more talented. For example, I was thinking about having specific courses. I mean, one-to-one course with some of the experts.
Okay, hang on. Let's just identify your
Okay.
thought, because now you're jumping ahead to like action and what you can do. Let's
Mhm.
focus on the thought that we're going to work with. I'm not doing anything to continue my crochet education.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's the thought. How does that make you feel?
Frustrated.
Frustrated. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, and when you're frustrated, what do you do?
When I'm frustrated, I'm not
No, you're chopping up. Is she chopping up for anybody else? Can you repeat that, please, Abir? I can't hear anything. Can anybody hear her? Is it just me?
No, she's freezing.
learning.
Abid, you're to okay, we lost her. Oh well. Okay. Until she comes back. There she is. Abid,
Yes.
there you are.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, maybe
So
if you turn
maybe
your camera off. Yes. Okay, so you're frustrated. So what do you do? What does anybody do when they're frustrated, right? Are you going to go and learn more about your crochet when you're
no,
frustrated? No. So what do you do?
no. Uh, I don't know what to do next step.
Okay, so basically you freeze. No
Yes,
action, right? No action
yes,
at all. Nothing. So then
yes.
the end result of that is what?
Mm,
You get nowhere with your crochet, right? You don't
yes, yes,
get nowhere. Okay.
yes.
So let's take it the next column and let's start with the result. So what would you love to see happen with your crochet hobby?
I want to be able to do many patterns, to do clothes for myself, for my kids, for my...
Okay, so making crochet clothes for myself and for kids, very specific. This is excellent, right? Very specific. You want to be able to crochet clothes. Perfect. So in order for you to be able to crochet clothes, what's the action you have to take?
I have to search for places or persons who give these courses, but I need them to be talented person.
Okay, so search is one thing, but is searching alone going to make you capable of crocheting clothes? I mean, it's part of
What
it.
do you mean? But what?
It's you might search, but the thing that's going to did we lose? Oh, there you are. Thought I lost you again. The thing that's going to actually make you capable of making the clothes is actually signing up to learn, right? Like searching is a little bit vague as an action. Like maybe you have to do your research, right? But then at the end of you have to take the concrete action, which is register to learn with the instructor of choice how to be able to crochet clothes. That's a not just search, because search is like, well, I can keep searching for 6 months. It's open-ended and kind of wishy-washy. So you want to take an action and actually this goes for everybody, when you decide on an action, give yourself a deadline.
Yes.
Give yourself a deadline.
Now?
No, not right now.
Okay.
In general. In general.
Yes.
Okay? So
Yes,
you want to register for a course by,
Hmm.
let's say, March 1st to learn how to crochet. That's a very defined goal, action that you're going to take to give you the result that you want. So
Hmm.
what is the feeling you have to have in order for you to go and register for this course? It's not going to be frustrated, right? You're not going to be frustrated.
No.
What's the feeling?
No.
Imagine yourself, you found the instructor, you found the place, and you are driving in your car and you're going to pay and register. How are you feeling in that moment?
Very happy. Very happy. I'll be very happy by this. I like. I have make a big step in my life that I always wanted.
So you're very, very happy. Remember, we're talking about a feeling. So happiness.
Yes.
Lots and lots of
Happiness.
happiness. Okay. So what is the thought that has to be in your mind? Remember, the first thought you have is, I'm not doing anything to continue my crochet. That's the first thought.
Yes.
So we need to
Yes.
change that thought. So what is the thought that you want to have? You get to choose a different thought that's going to make you very happy so that you can go and register for the course.
I don't know. I can't figure a thought. Maybe always I have this confusion between the thought and feeling. Always.
A feeling is an emotion, right? It's an emotion. Fear, sadness, happiness, grief, resentment, joy. That's an emotion, okay? And it's one word to describe how you're feeling. An emotion, okay? A thought is a string of words put together that describe the circumstance. You don't have, if you don't feel like you're pressured in the moment to think of one, right? You can go and think of one and let me know later if that makes you,
Maybe.
yeah, okay, yeah. But you understand how, the important thing is that you understand how this works, all right?
Yes. It works on the other way. This is how to achieve your goal by the end.
Exactly, right?
Yes.
Everything,
Yes.
all of you, everything that you're doing in your life, if there's something, an area in your life where it just seems like you're spinning your wheels, like you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you try different things and you try different approaches and it's not working, then it's because you haven't addressed the root cause, which is here. So it's not just about taking more action, right? It's not about doing more things to get the change that you want. If you haven't addressed the root, same thing like with a disease, you can go and take a million different pills and try a different, have a million different surgeries and still not be well because you haven't addressed what's the root problem. So that's the same thing in our life, where we keep literally over and over and over again trying to get a different result, but we're doing the same thing just in a different way. You won't get the different result. The different result is going to happen when you change what's up here in everything in your life.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more. Who would like to go? All right. Here's what I would love everybody to do, ladies. Because we're going to do more of, especially when we get into the emotional eating, you already have your food diary, you're sort of documenting what you eat, documenting how the food makes you feel, documenting kind of how you're going physically, more or less, as we're going through this journey. Once we start emotional eating, which is not next week, in 2 weeks and a bit, the posts in the group are going to start shifting, and I'm going to start asking you every day to write something in your journal as we sort of go deeper to identifying where this emotional eating issue is coming from. So this is one of the first exercises that I'm going to have you start implementing at least twice a week, once or twice a week, where I want you to catch a thought. I want you to think of a circumstance in your life. I want you to think of something in your life where you keep hitting a brick wall. And we all have that. We're dealing with the health. I mean, you could still write about health for sure, but you've more or less taken the action on your health and you're learning how to change your mindset around health. So if you still feel like you need to do more about health, by all means do it. But I want you to sort of stretch your mind muscles a little bit more and try to apply it to something else, right? Like, Sanat did, Gaza, Abir did her hobbies. It could be something where you're stuck in a relationship with your spouse. It could be something to do with your job. It could be something to do with your kids. You can literally, if you stop and think about it, there's, besides your health, so many other pieces of our lives where we wish it could be looking differently or working out differently, and it's not. And you have the power to change that. So I want you at least once or twice to do a thought model, share it with me, share it on the group, like just take a picture of your piece of paper, just so that I can make sure you're also doing it correctly. If it's something really personal, share it with me, in an email, but get yourself into this practice. It's a great practice to do first thing in the morning when you wake up, to sort of see what kind of, what are you thinking first thing in the morning? Like, this is going to be a horrible day, right? A lot of people wake up, think that the circumstance is your day and you're thinking this is going to be a horrible day. Well, imagine if you can wake up and change that thought every morning from this is going to be a horrible day to this is going to be a wonderful day, and see what kind of results that gives you. So there's no right or wrong when it comes to the thought model. It's all about what you need to work through. Like, what are the thoughts that are just running amok in your head, right? They're just like running the show in your head and you don't even realize it. We want to raise our awareness around these thoughts so that we can change them. So share if you need help, but definitely share just so that you actually do it. It's really important. This is one of those things, like, if you don't do it, it doesn't work. And it's not something that you can do in your head. This is a very much a written exercise. So you have to have a piece of paper and a pen and actually write it, because that mind-hand connection is part of the process. So do it and share it on the group so I can give you feedback. All right. Dina, I am lost. Where can I find the juices for fried juices? It's on the plan. So day 13, Dina, like if you have that chart that says day 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, day 13 tells you exactly what you need to do. And you also have it in the day-by-day plan. Just juices. And anyway, tomorrow we're going to talk all about the juicing tomorrow, nothing else. And yes, detoxing our mind and thoughts, you can't do one without the other. Already you guys experienced emotional detox that you had nothing to do with. Like, it's taking you by surprise. It's like, why am I so emotional? Why am I crying? Because the body's just automatically going to do that. What we're doing, the same way that we intentionally triggered a physical detox, you're going to intentionally now trigger a mental detox, so we can clear all the mental clutter and really just focus on the thoughts that help us and help us move forward in our lives instead of holding us back. All right. Any last minute comments or questions, ladies? Share your thought models in the group or with me, at least so I can make sure that you're doing it correctly. All right. Okay, ladies. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Those of you in Cairo, enjoy sleeping in tomorrow morning. Enjoy the long weekend. And I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night, ladies.
Sorry, Dana, I can ask you privately, right? Because I had a problem with connection, so I can...
Yes. Go ahead. No problem.
I will ask you about what's our models, right?
No,
I
so
couldn't. And I had something with the connection, so I just
so you
entered.
didn't see the whole class at all? Okay, so then I'm going to post the replay. okay? You need to watch from the very beginning because you need to go through the steps that I went through. Go through it all and then share on the group. Let me see if you understood it and I can walk you through if there's something that, if you got it, great, wonderful. If not, I'll help you clarify where your glitches might be.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. Good night, ladies.
Hi.